Hey guys, this video is brought to you by G Fuel Energy. G Fuel is the official energy drink of esports. I love G Fuel because it's a healthy alternative to any other energy drink. G Fuel is filled with vitamins and minerals. It has 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and 15 calories. My favorite flavor this week is Clickbait. It tastes so good and it helps me be better at all of the video games I like to play on Twitch. G Fuel is available in lots of gas stations nationwide, or you can go online and use the code Natalie for a special discount. All right, let's start the show. Welcome to another episode of Help with Natalie Cuomo. I'm here with the amazing Josh Adam Meyers. Josh, how are you?
I'm good. Before we got on the air, we were out depressing each other.
No.
Is that what it was? Or out like, are you okay? I'm fine. Are you okay? No, I'm fine. It was a very, I'm fine.
It was. We're doing great. Last night, I actually watched your appearance on Burr Friends Who Kill on Netflix. You absolutely killed.
Thank you very much. That was a lot of fun to do. It was that was the beginning of why I'm having the vocal cord issues.
Yeah.
Because that whole like festival, I was out on the road for like 3 weeks. We were doing Nashville, then we did Austin, and then I came back from Austin after doing like 5 shows, like all singing, all doing all that stuff, and then came back to New York for 2 days, and then immediately had to go to LA for that. And what's funny, on top of that performance, literally 5 hours before we shot that, I was in the hospital getting IVs because I got like horrible food poisoning.
Oh my God. Yeah. That day of the Netflix performance?
The night. So
Were you freaking out?
I mean, Natalie. So yeah, because we had the rehearsal with the band and with Ronnie on Tuesday. And so my plan for the rest of the day was just like go home to the hotel, have a nice dinner. Then I was like, ooh, you know what? I want to go buy some socks. So I'm going to go to the Grove. And there's this health food supermarket called Irwan in Los Angeles. And can I pick this up? Can you still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, no, I like this like chest like holding. So I go to the doctor, not the doctor. I'm sorry. I go to the mall, and I'm at the mall, and I'm like, ooh, I want to go get some food. So I stop by that health food market, Irwan, which is like a very, very like it's packed. Hold on, is Lekka bothering you? Lekka.
No.
Lekka, go back there.
Lekka, come back.
Go back, Lekka. Can Lekka be a guest in the description?
Yes.
Please?
Lekka is a guest.
She's so big.
Lekka is perfect.
She's such a good dog, except she ran away from me yesterday at the dog park. Like, ran out of the dog park, ran down the FDR.
No.
Not on the highway. It sounds much worse than it was. It was just she ran. It was the first time she'd ever done that, and that was, like, really, really scary. But,
so I need to know what happened. We were at the Grove. You were getting socks.
So
what stand at the Grove ruined your fucking night?
So it wasn't a stand. There's this supermarket called Irwan.
Okay.
And it's the hippest supermarket you're ever going to go to.
Goddamn hipsters are ruining everything.
It's not hipsters. It's Hollywood like elite.
Hip. Okay.
Hollywood elite.
Okay.
Like beautiful people, the most gorgeous women and men you've ever seen, and then like very like yogis. And they have like a hot food section as well as like a supermarket with all organic shit. And I used to go there all the time because, you know, I like to eat somewhat healthy. And so I'm like, I'm going to get a snack, and then I'm going to go buy the snacks. And I get like a couple pieces of chicken, some Brussels sprouts, and a rice ball. And then I go to the Grove, which is attached to the supermarket, which is a beautiful mall. It's all outdoors and shit. And then I'm walking back towards my car, which is at Irwan. And I go, oh, they have these drinks that I used to get that were good for my voice. They were like really good for your throat. It's got like coconut oil and like reishi and this and that and all this other really healthy shit. And so I get that. And then I get in my car and I'm driving back to the hotel, to the W. And immediately I get to the hotel.
The W, very fancy.
And my stomach, well, I didn't pay for this. This
a
is
very
Netflix
lovely, a very lovely pool I've snuck into many times.
Really? I went once. It was fine. It was fine. The drinks were very expensive,
to say the least.
But I get back to the hotel and it's like 8:00 and my stomach just starts cramping. And I'm like, oh, I must be hungry. So I'm like, I'm gonna go get food, and I'm gonna go to Shake Shack and get a cheeseburger. Just,
Oh.
I mean, just like I just want something, and it's right next to
Yeah.
the hotel.
Yeah.
And then I go to the Shake Shack. My stomach's hurting more. I take one bite, and I go, I can't eat any of this.
Oh, no.
And then I go back to the hotel room, and then it was just like,
It happens.
I mean, throwing up from both ends, my stomach cramping.
No. You were skinny for
Like,
Netflix.
Yes. Did I look great?
You looked amazing. I was watching it going, the number of chicks in his DMs right now is definitely insane.
I did get a bunch
Yes,
of like
I was
very
like,
hot
he
women.
is such a fucking rock star right now. Like, because it's comedy, but you're like being a rock star.
That's kind of what. I'm not gonna say it's what I am at all, because it's just
And
like,
you're like, I am
just,
a comedy rock star.
It's not even want to call it a rock star. I just don't know how to do anything else other than be who I am.
Of course.
And that
I'm
is
a rock star.
I just like singing. I like singing, and I'm good at it. And it's like, it's something that I had a friend who passed away in 2012, Angelo Bowers. Look him up, funniest guy I ever met in my life. That said to me, he was like, when we had first started comedy, he was like, dude, like, you need to figure out a way to do both, because you're good. You're good at comedy, but you are a great singer and you're great at music. So figure out a way to mush that. And in some way, that was how I started the jam, because it was like, oh, this is an extension of who I am. It's not like I'm forcing this hobby of mine onto people.
Right.
But as far as that night, though,
Okay.
I mean, I remember I was.
So what happened? You're
So
sick. You're in the hotel room.
But like Natalie, like bad. Like
Bad
I called.
sick.
I called the producer and I
Uh-huh.
said, "Hey, I'm really sick right now. I don't know what to do." And she's like, "Well, I'll call one of the executives." And then they call me and they're like, "You just need to go to sleep." And I'm calling an Uber to take me to the hospital. And they're like, because at one point I was like, there's not like a bathtub. There's just like a really nice shower with like a concrete floor. I'm just laying on the floor in the fetal
This is
position,
terrible.
just having it rain down on me.
Oh.
And then I'm like, I call the Uber to pick me up, and the Uber shows up, and they're like, I'm here, and I'm like, I can't get off the toilet.
This is the
Like, I
most
can't.
extreme example of Instagram versus reality, like Netflix versus reality. Like you see you on Netflix, you're just fucking this rock star the night before. No one knows you were like on the bathroom floor. Like
All I could keep down was toast and
yeah.
a banana. Well, here's what's funny is that the Uber says, "Can you come?" I'm like, "I can't get off the toilet,
Oh,
dude."
no,
So the
dude.
guy's like, "Oh, I'm leaving," and I'm like, "Okay." And so I talked to Bertalina at All Things Comedy, and Mike was like, "You just need to figure out a way to go to sleep. You'll feel better if you go to sleep." So he's like, "Do whatever you can. If you have Xanax or anything," I'm like, "I don't have anything. I just have weed." He goes, "Smoke 3 joints." So I smoked 3 joints,
Oh my god.
and I fell asleep. And then I woke up at 9 a.m. And one of the producers that called me, Mike, had called me, and he's like, "How do you feel?" I'm like, "I think I feel a little bit better." All right. Well, do you think you can do it? I'm like, "Yes, I can do it. I'll figure out a way to power through it." I love Mike because he puts everything in like basketball and sports terms. He goes, "This is your Jordan flu game. Can you play through it and drop 35 points?" I'm like, "I just hope I don't shit myself, dude. That's what I hope."
Yes.
And so I had already an appointment to go to an urgent care to get anti-inflammatory steroid for my vocal cords because they were already worn out.
Especially from throwing up.
Yes, it didn't help. Definitely didn't help.
Yeah.
But I go to the doctor. I had already been there a few days earlier, and I say to the guy, "So I need the Decadron for my voice. Can you help me with anything for my stomach?" And he's like, "Well, actually, we do this stuff for when people are hungover. So I think it's the same thing, but also I can like kind of mend it towards like stomach bugs, so I can have something block you up, so you're not going to be throwing up or you're not going to be shitting yourself." And it will make you feel better, and then you'll get a couple IV bags. And so they set me up with the IV bags. I fell asleep for the hour and 20 I think it took. And then when I woke up, I felt a little bit better. And then I went to the hotel, and I felt a little bit better. And by the time we got to the taping, I was fine. But here's the cool thing about all of it.
Tell me.
Was that because I was so sick, I never thought about the performance.
Yeah.
I only thought about wanting to feel better.
Yeah.
So when they were like, "Oh, Josh, you're up next," I was like, "Oh yeah, I got to go do this thing."
Right.
And I was just like, "I don't give a shit." Like, and to be honest with you, they chose a lot of stuff from the second show. That first show, I think they didn't use it because I opened up by shitting on Netflix.
Did you? What did you say?
Because Netflix did not, and not Netflix, but one of the showrunners or whatever on the show could not clear a song for me. So originally I was supposed to do.
I saw that you said that in the second one, and you also shit on Amazon Prime, which was funny.
Yes. I shit on Amazon. I might have said something about Hulu too. But it was kind of frustrating. Like, we wrote that song the day before because they hadn't got a song for me. They couldn't clear Zombie. They couldn't clear Living on a Prayer. So I was just kind of like, well, what do we do? And to be honest with you, I think it actually worked better because I was able to spend more time making jokes and doing crowd work and doing this other than singing Living on a Prayer, which they would have shown all of that. So in a sense, they helped me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think that your energy was amazing. Like, I feel like you're able to, the stage presence that you have is incredible.
Thank you.
I think that you're able to put that into your stand-up. I wish that I got to see your stand-up I wish they had included your stand-up in that, because that would have been fucking awesome.
Thank
and
you.
People need to see that.
I think this is what I'm, because right now, just, full disclosure to everybody listening, is like I'm dealing with like serious vocal cord issues from overusage.
Yeah.
I think I have a nodule again, which I've had surgery on my vocal cords before. But it's like all this cool shit is about to come. So like I have to take care of myself, and because it's like I'm only going to be performing more now. And what I like doing in my act is stand up, singing. I don't even need a band. I just sing. It's just if you watch my Instagram, it's just like I go in and out of like a song into this, into that, and it's just fun. So I think that's kind of just what I took what my friend said years ago, and I just have the ups and downs where you're like, okay, I'm a straight stand-up. Nah, this doesn't feel right. Okay, now I'm a musician. That doesn't feel right. And like, how can you just like bleed them both together? And I feel like we're getting to a place where it's like, it's a really nice sweet spot, One
thing I love about you is that you did my show at the Stand on Thursday, and you were the second to last comic, and the last comic canceled. And I was like, oh, what do we do? And you have so much fun on stage that I was like, I'll just leave Josh up there. He loves it. Like, you love being on stage so much. Like, some comics, they don't give that energy of that passion that you can feel that tangibly. It was like, Josh loves being on, I'm like, he loves being on stage. I'll just leave him up there. And I just left you up there for longer. I gave someone like 5 minutes at the end. Yeah. But like, you just love being on stage so much. And it's so awesome to like feel, because some comics don't have that like tangible passion for comedy. Like, they've gotten jaded to the point where it's like, yes, they're hilarious, but it's like dark. Do you know what I mean?
We've met. Well, I guess the best way to answer that is that this is a business that is not easy.
It's not, yeah.
And you can push and fight and take the no's and just make yourself stronger from that and just push through, which is what I've had to do over the years, because I've constantly had the industry say, well, we don't know what to do with you because you're so different than everybody else. That happened when I did New Faces. That happened when I had my TV show the first time on Comedy Central. Even with this, even with the Netflix thing, is that originally they were making decisions about my product without even asking me. Now, in full disclosure and not shitting on them, they really did a good job at making it right, because I had to like fight. I had to go, wait, what are you doing? And so from all of that, you could like let it just beat you down and harden you. So for what you said, there's comics that we know that have been doing this shit for 15, 20 years that are just jaded. They're not enjoying themselves because they didn't get what they want to do, because it's like nobody's going to hand you anything. It's rare that you're Pete Davidson or Gerard Carmichael or, who any of the other golden children we've met in this business. Even people like, like Sam, dude. I remember Sam Morrell. We both did New Faces together, and him and I had a call like 2 months after New Faces. Like, did anything happen with you? No. Did anything happen with you? No. What are we gonna do? I don't fucking know. And look what he did.
Yeah,
he's arguably one of the bigger stand-up comics working today, all through shit that he built.
I completely agree.
And I think with me, it's like the only reason I'm still working is because I said, I said, well, I can't do what Sam does. I can't do what Burr does, but I can do I can be me.
I feel the same way. I feel like everything that I've done, it's because I put the hard work into it. Like,
Yeah.
I think like I feel like people don't realize how much hard work goes behind shit. Like, it's really is just, most people are successful because of just hard work.
Yeah.
Like, it's more simple than they want to
It's nothing to do with talent. It has nothing to do with
It's
talent.
literally hard work and reps. It's work. It's a job. It's a job.
There are comics though that we know that we probably follow that are so mediocrely talented, but they just have such a. It's like I will not take no for an answer, and they're just pushing through and pushing through and pushing through, and they're more successful than all of us. And that's just the way you have to do it. It's like talent means nothing in this business. The more talented you are, the more you're probably going to have an ego about your talent where it's like, oh, I'm not going to, you don't want this? Okay. And if you do that, like you're just missing out on the opportunity because there's other people that will do that and will fucking,
I like to watch stand-up clips on Instagram without sound. Like I always watch people's clips without sound because I'm just like, I want to see if I think this joke is funny.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to see if I think this writing is funny.
Oh, but if it has just the words.
With the subtitles. Like,
Yeah, I thought you were
No. I just want to read the subtitles and be like, do I think this writing is funny? I'm just curious. Like, just for me, because I'm trying to learn and grow as a comic, and I'm like, do I think this writing is funny?
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like it's just a really interesting, like, thought experiment to be like, it's the primary way that I watch stand-up on Instagram and TikTok is without sound, just reading the subtitles, being like, do I think this writing is funny? And I feel like most of the time it's like, it's so much about every other component.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah, I might be the only comic that sweats on stage. From how much movement and how much energy I'm putting on. I have a lot of kinetic energy.
But comedy is a performance. I was like watching the Bill Burr special last night, all the comics, and like you notice that like the comics that stood out to me, Jessica, I love so much.
I look up to her.
Me too.
I know you do. I know she loves you too. But she's such a fucking powerhouse and so like. We were talking about the people that have been doing it and could become jaded. She's the opposite.
Love her.
You like look at her and be like, oh, like, no, you can be a 24-year comic and finally be getting shit that you deserved 10 years ago and not have a bad negative attitude. I think she's somebody, and dude, that was not an easy crowd the first show.
You know what's so interesting to me as well? So I did Jessica's social media for about a year, and I captioned all her clips and like all of that stuff. So I like know her material in that context, and like I've watched her material so many times. They've like opened for her, and then it was like really cool watching it on Netflix and just being like seeing it in this different perspective, and it was just so exciting. I love what she has to say so fucking much. Like, I just feel like she's speaking for so many people. She's so funny, and like I just feel like I've learned from her more than I've learned from any other comic because she's just so wholeheartedly herself. And that's, I think, like unlocking like being yourself and finding your own voice. That's like literally the key into being like, I just love Jessica.
She's great.
I can't even, the voices she does, the way she like turns around on stage and does this inner monologue. And then I love how she like turns around and she's like, you guys don't understand what I just did, but it was brilliant. Like, that's fucking hilarious.
She was and has been just so sweet. I mean, since we become friends.
Yeah.
And it's only been, a couple years that we've really been cool. But like the amount of positive reinforcement she's given me, like especially even after the taping.
Yeah.
Because like I got off stage the first time, and I think that's just the way that I always am. Like there's some sets, like there was a set at Netflix Fest, outdoors, where it's the second show out of the 4 that we were doing, and there's like 600 people, and I'm just like Big J's on it, and I'm just like dialed in, and the crowd work's going great, the jokes are going great, the music's going great. And then I'm like, all right, everybody, you can sit. And this one woman like stands up and she's not sitting. And I'm like, honey, you can sit down now. And she's like, she in her head, she's probably saying, okay, guys, I'm going to speak for all of us because I know what we all are thinking. And she just goes, this isn't funny. And everybody's like, what? And even I'm in shock because that was the first time I was so. I knew how hard I killed. I haven't said I killed since I moved to New York because all the New York comics made fun of me for saying, oh, I killed. So I was like, oh, I'm never going to say that ever again. And so but I know it. We have that thing where we're like, okay, I know this went so well. It went great. I can be proud of myself and I can be confident. And this woman's like, guys, right? It's terrible. And I'm just like, I was like, sweetheart, I was like, did you guys all feel the same way? And everybody's like, no. And I was like, look, I think you're in the minority. So why don't you just sit down? You didn't pay for this show. So just enjoy it. And she's just like, yeah, this isn't funny. And then I'm just like, okay, because I knew how well he did. And the executives for Netflix were there, like Robbie and a few other people. And I just go, cool. I'm not continuing the show until she's removed from the festival. Yeah. I'm just going to stay here. I've already gotten paid. You're going to ruin everybody's time until you leave. And then she's like, and then the security guard doesn't know what to do. And then they finally kick her out. And then I even say, I'm like, on her way out, run her by the merch table and buy her a T-shirt on me. I'll pay for it. And she might have. I don't know. They never gave me a move. But it's like, it's rare that I walk off of any set. And like, I know when I do good, but it's like, I think as an artist, and I guess I can call myself an artist.
Yes, of course you can.
But I feel like it's just like, I see that with Bill. Like I've watched him do new material and then me be like, yo, man, that was great. And he goes, really? And you're like, oh, that's genuine. Like he actually cares about what he's doing. And we need those things. And Jessica, like, especially at the Netflix, at the taping, like she was very like, we did that first set and she came up to me and she was like, dude, you are just so, and she just started being so nice. And I was just like, oh, wow. Like, cause nobody else was, everybody else was in their own head.
Yeah.
Like Attell would come up to me and because I follow Attell a lot at the Cellar, which has made me a far better performer.
Right.
And I don't know if Esty is doing that just because that's works with his schedule or because she knows I can follow him, or she wants to test me. But it's like, it's the greatest thing ever that's made me like, dude, in LA, I never had to follow anybody as hard as Dave Attell.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anybody kill as hard as Dave Attell.
Yeah.
The only person I've seen kill as hard as Dave Attell is my friend Angelo, who passed away because he was the next Dave Attell. But like, it's always the people that are like, that aren't in competition with you that are going to be the ones that are like, you did great. You're sweet. Oh, I love that joke.
Yes.
It's the people that are like looking at you like, that's great job. And you're like, I didn't believe that.
I was talking to someone recently and they were like, Natalie, like you're starting to level up in your career. And as you level up in your career, you're going to be around people that since they have their own shit going on, they're going to be able to be supportive of you because they're not jealous that you are getting shit. So like if you're around people that have their own shit going on, like Burr, Jessica, like these people, you have a good set and they're able to be like, great job, because they have their own shit going on. So they're not pissed that you did something. When you're around people that are just so miserable about their own lack of accomplishment, they can't be happy for you. And they just kind of have to just like be in their misery about anyone else's success. And it's like a really difficult place to be in.
How do you like deal with, because especially as a woman in comedy, like how do you deal with it? Because there's always going to be people like, just women aren't funny. So you have to you're already starting when you walk on stage. From what I know of certain female comics that I'm friends with, or they're just like, it's like you walk up there and there's just like people like, oh, you're like, what? Like, do you have to deal with any of that?
I feel like, honestly, when I'm on stage, I feel very, like, comfortable and connected to the audience. I don't feel it that way. And, like, online, whatever, I feel it most around, like, I feel it around, like, maybe other, like, comics or people I just feel around other comics, I feel kind of isolated.
Yeah.
I think that's like my biggest problem. Like on stage, I feel very comfortable and happy to be connecting with an audience. And like I've built a really great community online, but maybe
You
around
really have.
other comics, I feel.
You're always doing giveaways?
Yeah.
Like, where do you get all this shit?
I've built like this amazing community, and it's because like I genuinely love these people. Like we talk and like we support each other. Like it's an awesome community.
Where do you get so many Nintendo Switches, though?
Where do I get so many Nintendo Switches?
Yeah. Did something fall off a truck? Are you really just an Italian mobster's family's daughter? The Cuomo dynasty of New Jersey.
Well, the first Switch I bought myself, right? That's $200 I invested in my stream, right? The second one was donated to me.
Yeah.
The third was donated. The fourth was donated. The fifth I bought myself.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to continue this. And then the next two were donated.
Jesus.
So, but this is like a community where we all play video games together. So it's like me and like a bunch of people every night. We're like playing video games together. It's a community of people. It's not like these people are just like, oh, I'm giving a Nintendo Switch to Natalie. I'm not playing these Nintendo Switches. Other people are, and we like play Mario Kart together. We support each other. Like it's not just like, oh wow, Natalie, people are just like giving you shit. It's like, first of all, like streaming is like
huge. Streaming is like, it's crazy.
It's like it's
watching people play. It blows my mind.
Like,
I'm sorry, it just blows my mind.
Streaming is you have to be present the entire time.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you can play. Like people are like, oh, I wish I could get paid to play video games. Like you don't just like zone out and play video games. Like you do need to be present the entire time. Like it is still like. I feel like people don't understand, and it is still like fostering a community and like a good environment.
Sure.
So, I just feel like I feel really lucky to have like created an online community of people. But yeah, I do feel that in comedy, like comedians are difficult, which brings me to what I also want to ask you.
Hit me.
I feel that like, so you do a lot of work with a band.
Yeah.
And I was like with the Comedy Jam, and I was wondering, like, does that change like your? I feel that if I was working with a band, like my life would be different because like I would have like this team. Like I feel like my life would have so much more light and positivity if I had like a team behind me or
Sure.
with me, and like I was working in collaboration with people. Like when I've done shoots or when I worked like collaboratively with people,
Yeah.
I've felt like really excited and like, you know, I felt like a lot of light in my life. So do you feel like that adds to your ability to kind of like persevere in this otherwise really lonely industry?
Yes, because the guys that are in LMNOP, the band, Nick and Joel, I've known for, 15 years now. And they're brothers. So, you know, having them, there's like, you know, especially like everybody has a role. Like Joel is the, I call him Mr. Reliable because he's always there, even though he wasn't there for the taping because he got COVID. He got COVID like the day before the festival. So he couldn't, really, it was a bummer because he worked so hard for these opportunities and to miss them. And it's not even about the money. It's just like, this is like one of the, like, this is Christmas. Like we've been waiting 364 days for this day. And Nick is just this guy that when I play with, he knows me so well that we feed off of each other energy wise. And it's like to have them, it makes it sweeter. Like when I started doing some shows out here where I needed a band, I was like, I think I'm just going to get some other guys because it'll be cheaper. And then we went to Austin and we did Moon Tower, and I played with the band, and we hadn't done a live jam together through the whole pandemic. I think we did one in like November at this like weird TV studio space. And when I played with them in Austin, I was like, no, these are the guys I want to play with. These are the people that I love. And so I just was like, I'll figure it out. I'll pay for their flights, and then I'll figure out a way to get my money back. Or if I lose a little bit of money, it's fine because I'm at least doing it with people I love. I mean, the community in my band between Nick and Joel, who've been there forever, Dan, the bassist, who they worked with on something else, and then I met and immediately was like, oh, this guy's great. Great attitude, great energy, can play great. And then Avery, who's a comic but also plays piano, who is not the best pianist, like at all, but he's one of my best friends. So having him there, it just makes all of the things that I do or I get that just much more fun. Like to be able to go to, like, we go to Cancun together, we're going to London together, we go to Bermuda and you know, Montreal and all these things. It's like when you're doing it with your friends. And I think like you have comedian friends, you have the people that are your family. It's always sweeter. Like not even just with the band, but like I'm doing the Nasty Show in Just for Laughs, and all the comics I'm cool with, but Big J's hosting, and Jay's one of my best friends. So I'm like, this is the year that I wanted it more than ever. Because other years it had been, you know, I'm trying to think who would host. Bobby Lee, who I'm cool with, or this person, or Jimmy Carr. And it's like to have Jay there with me the whole time is like, it just makes this journey better. Now, that's not to say that I don't feel alone. You know, I feel alone all the time just because, you know, we're in an isolated profession. Also, I don't do shit until 7 p.m. at night where I see people. This is rare.
What do you do during the day?
I my breakfast and walk the dog and all that shit, and then I meditate, and then I do my vocal warm ups, and then then I have lunch, and then I walk the dog, and then I go to the gym, and then I come home and I feed the dog, and then by that time it's time to go to shows, and then I go to shows. Or if I don't have shows, I just stay in and rest my voice, and then, you know, try to go to bed early. Like right now, it's like kind of a pain in the ass because I just found out through girls that I sleep with that I'm a bad snorer. I have multiple partners. I am trying to find the one. So you have to date around.
Okay.
And two of the girls have been like I've woken up in the morning and they're not in bed with me. They're on my couch, and I'm like, what is going on?
Let's break this down.
Well, because I'm snoring bad. I never snored until like a month ago. And now it's like bad. This girl recorded it. And so it's like bad. It's like hot. I mean, it's so bad. So I have like mouth tape and this mouth fucking
Maybe you have
contraption.
sleep apnea.
I got tested for sleep apnea a few years ago, and they said I didn't have it. When I did have the signs of sleep apnea, which were like waking up like like I used to have that. It doesn't happen anymore.
Now, let's talk about this.
Okay.
Recently on a podcast, we had a whole conversation. I had a whole episode about open relationships, all of that stuff. Are you like in an open relationship with these people? Are you dating?
Just dating.
You
just hanging
date?
out. Nothing serious.
Yeah.
And nothing has been discussed in a serious way.
Why wouldn't they, like, in my experience, I would generally like leave instead of moving to the couch of a guy's house if they weren't my boyfriend.
I think they live
Too far?
One in Brooklyn, one in Queens, yeah.
You're going for the outer boroughs.
No, not on purpose.
Yeah.
It's just that's who I met. I met them. I think I met them both through comedy. One I didn't.
Do you meet people from the audience at shows? Like, how do you usually date people?
Just in person. I could just like see, like, I'm not afraid to go up and talk to somebody.
Okay.
If I'm attracted to them, and if you do it in a non-creepy way, the odds of them reciprocating your attention are usually like good. I'm not a bad-looking guy, so it's not like going up like I'm just, you know what I mean?
Is it typically at shows?
No, it could be at the supermarket.
What's your advice? So I feel like I have a lot of male listeners, so this is great. What's your advice to a guy that wants to go up to, like, they want to approach a girl, cold, approach a girl in real life? What's your advice?
The worst that's going to happen is she says no.
Okay. That's a lot for some people.
Well, it's, you know, we work in a profession where we get no's all the time. So it's really not that big a deal for me. I'm just like, all right. This doesn't hurt my confidence. It's like if you ask out 10 women and 9 say no, but 1 says yes. That's pretty good odds.
It's so funny because this is the exact reason that I don't go out with people.
Why?
Because I don't want to be like one of the odds. Like, I don't want it to be like, oh, you asked out 10. I'm the one that said yes. Yippee. Like, I want to be, you asked out 1. I'm the only one that said yes.
I'm not asking.
I'm the only one you wanted. Thank you. Goodbye.
No, but don't think that I'm asking out women nonstop, because I'm not.
Yeah.
It's very, like, it's rare that I just go up to somebody and I start. But if I'm attracted to somebody at the gym and just somehow, like, we start talking, and then I'll just be like.
My feeling is like, if you're asking me out, you're asking other people out. Therefore, I don't want you, and goodbye.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a good.
It's not true. It's not a good gauge.
It's not a good gauge because it's like I'm attracted to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I could when I on the walk here, I saw 5 girls and I was like,
This is why
I'd go out with all 5 of these girls.
That's why I can't. So did you ask any of them out?
No, because I was in a hurry. I was running late.
You would have.
No, I probably not, because I was like, it's not like you just see somebody and you go up to them. It's like it just has to naturally happen. But you can go up to somebody and just.
What's the smoothest way you've ever done it?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is even smooth. Just you're in like the fruit snacks aisles and be like, what should I get? Shark bites or.
You've done that?
Yeah. Should I get shark bites or this thing?
And it works?
They're like, I go with shark bites. Why shark bites? And if they then start talking to you, then there it is. You have an opening.
Oh, so you just start making conversation like a weirdo.
No, but is that weird or is that confident?
I mean, listen, I met my ex-fiance at Whole Foods. He came up to me and just asked for my number. But yeah, it was confident.
You just be confident. I'm not like, it's not like I'm going up like, hey, can I smell your underwear? Like, I'm not doing that. I'm literally saying,
no, you're making a convo.
I'm just like,
and it can be fun if you're attracted to each other. It can be fun.
Sure,
it's different. Like, I feel like if you're attracted to each other, it can be good. Especially, yeah.
And also, I think there is, immediately
if it's weird.
If they're like interested.
Right.
I don't have to woo them out. I'm not going to try to spend time like, come on, like let's go out.
Come on, gushers.
I don't. I'm just saying. It's like I don't push. It's just like if I ask the question and they're just like that, and then they turn away, and I ask another question and they're just disinterested, I go, okay, cool, that's it.
Okay.
I don't do that a lot though. I'm not like constantly asking people out. But I think to find somebody in a major city, it's like you have to ask somebody. You have to talk to people and be confident and not be scared to get a no. If that's the word no, like who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
What would be your advice to people that tend to take rejection personally in these situations? I feel like a lot of people maybe don't ask people out. They're afraid of that no, because when they get that no, it's like a very personal rejection. It's very much like, it's just like that's very deflating, and it's like it's personal.
No, I can get that. I think well, that's something you need to work through if you take stuff personal.
I mean, I don't, but I'm just saying I feel that a lot of people are this way.
What I'm saying is that person in general is don't ever take anything personal, because especially if it comes to asking somebody out, it could be 1, they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It could be 2, they're just not feeling attractive that day, or they're having a bad day. And 3, it's just they just don't have the time. They don't want to connect, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I feel like it's interesting because I think, if I were to reject someone, I think their first thought would be, oh my God, I'm not attractive enough for her. And in my head, I'm like, you should see the ugly fucks that I've been with. This has nothing to do with attraction. I have fucked the ugliest people you've ever seen in your life. But that's what I want to say to people that maybe would go there. Like I think that's the first thought when you get rejected. Like they're not attracted to me, or I'm not good enough. And it's like, no, this has to do with so many other things.
There's a lot of factors, yeah.
And people just are so quick to take everything in life so personally.
Yeah. I used to take every breakup as like something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
And just sometimes you don't vibe.
I feel like every breakup I've been like, it's so hard not after every breakup to just spend months being like, what could I have done differently? If I did this, would this have happened? If I did this, would this have happened? And it's like, no, everything happened the way it needed to.
Yeah. It's rare when you're like, I dated a girl that when she ended it was only a 4-month relationship, but it was like the first time I dated somebody in a minute. And I remember she like laid it out perfectly of what I did that in a sense turned her off. And it wasn't, and it was all shit like you had no idea. Mm-hmm. You had no idea that my ex-boyfriend used to do this too.
Right.
You had no idea that this happened or this happened to me. And so I was like, yeah, I had no idea. I was just being funny or I was being cute or being interested in spending time with you or talking to you. And so I didn't take it personal. I was bummed, but I was like, no, it's like, how was I supposed to know?
Right.
I thought I was doing all the things to make the right decision and I was being myself. And you can't get mad at yourself for that.
Right.
And so, like, you try not to take things I get it. I get being rejected hurts, but it doesn't have to hurt. It just has to be like, ugh, all right, well, whatever.
Right. Every no brings you closer to a yes, just statistically.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Just statistically, every no brings you closer to a yes.
You have 50-50 chance of getting the answer that you want.
I always ask my podcast the best advice you ever received. And you've been on before, so I asked you already, but do you have an answer of more of the best advice you've ever received?
Don't mix heroin and cocaine.
Yeah.
Because it feels good. No kidding. The best advice. I forget what I said last time.
It was a good episode.
No, I remember that. I do remember
Lekka
it.
was there.
Like as always, I always bring her. If the podcast is within 20 blocks, it's like because I bring her because then I don't have to take her out on a long walk. She'll be fine.
How old is she?
She's gonna be 6 in October.
What's her astrological sign?
October 19th.
She's a Libra.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
What's your birthday?
December 17th.
Yeah, I never.
What's your birthday?
November 14th.
So you're a Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lekka's a straight Libra.
I can
tell.
see you as a Scorpio as well.
How?
You have a bit of darkness to you. You think about, pretty deep, insightful things.
Yes.
You understand.
I feel
this. You understand this side of Mr. Cloudy as well as the other side.
Oh wow, this is so cool. Is this yours?
Yeah. It was sent to me by Raul from Twitch.
Oh, Raul. This is great. It's dark, but it's great. But it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, it can be happy as well. Thank you, Raul.
I think the advice that's affecting me right now is like you choose your emotions. You choose like in this moment we're fine. I'm talking to my friend. My dog's here. I have friends here.
Okay.
I have a job. I have money. I have everything. I have food. I have a career. All this good shit. Like I said, you can feel lonely because you live in a big city and you're in a career that, some days are really busy and some weeks you're doing all this great shit and some weeks you're not. There's ups and downs, but you decide how big they are. They don't have to be these like swings. They could just be like little lasagna bumps.
I like that.
Yeah, it can just be like little like, because I'm going to feel good, but I'm going to feel bad. And I'm going to feel bad and then I'm going to feel good. I'm going to feel good again after I feel bad. It's not like it's just going to be, like I've never been the kind of person that's like, well, that's not true. Because when I was younger in my 20s, before I really realized, I remember when I get sad, I'd be like, this is going to last forever. And it doesn't. It all passes. You choose how you want to feel. And I think that's really powerful when you realize that. It's like you have a right to be sad, but like set an alarm on your phone and be like, okay, I'm going to be sad for the next 5 minutes. And for 5 minutes, I'm never going to make it. I fucking suck. No woman's ever going to find me this or whatever. And then when it's over, just be like, okay, you had your moment. I get past it. That's a really, really profound thing that my spiritual guide told me that I still like. I have to remind myself because you can't control the world. Dude, I was watching the Norm Macdonald special last night. Not the new one, because I've watched that like 4 times. I was watching his last one. And he said this joke about like when somebody commits suicide, people are always like, I don't understand why he would kill himself. Why wouldn't he want to be here? And Norm's like, you don't understand? It's like, what, he didn't want to be in this, and I can't say it the way that Norm said it. It's just like, oh, life with its horrors and its, constant rejection and it's this and it's that. Like, you don't understand why somebody wouldn't want to do this anymore? And of course, it's much funnier out of Norm's mouth. But it's so true. And the audience just rolled and rolled every time he kept saying another actual fact about how hard life is. Like, you don't understand? It was brilliant. And that's the truth, is that it is tough. So, you just have to, either kill yourself or accept that it's tough and accept the absurdity of it.
Well, yeah, I think there's power in making that decision every day. Like, I think that's the most powerful decision, is like to keep going and to keep remembering like that you have that control and that.
I want to kill myself all the time. Like once a day I go, man, I could just kill myself and then I won't have to go to that meeting. And I'm like, yeah, it's so much work.
I mean, we've all had that thought of like, oh man, like if I cut my finger, then I'd go to the hospital and I wouldn't have to go to work today. But it's like, then my hospital bill would be crazy, and then I'd lose a finger, and then it would be insane. Like everyone has had these like dark thoughts.
Yeah.
But life doesn't work like that, and it's not worth harming yourself, and it's not worth hurting yourself, and like there is beauty in life, and you shouldn't hurt yourself. You shouldn't kill yourself. Like life is
no, but if
living.
I already made this decision that if I get into like my 70s and 80s and my quality of life is like bad, like don't have money. I'm talking about like I can't do shit. Mm-hmm. Like my mom's a really old 75, like really old, and it's like if it gets bad, I'm just gonna fucking do heroin and kill myself.
Okay, I mean,
is that weird?
No,
I just don't. I don't like, dude. I went to this restaurant and we're waiting. We're leaving the restaurant, and this guy and his wife came in.
Yeah,
and he's just like, ugh, and his arm doesn't move, and he's like, ugh, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna die before then.
But here's the thing. I feel like that's totally understandable, and like I see people like that, and I get sad too. But instead of making that plan and being like, oh my god, like if I'm ever like that, I'm gonna kill myself. I just try to be like, okay, look at where I am now, and like let me appreciate this, and like I am fucking healthy and like doing well right now. So like let me appreciate like, yes, I have to do this thing that I don't want to do, and yes, this makes me uncomfortable. Like, who had the joke in the was it Michelle Wolf who had the bit yesterday in the Bill Burr thing about like we always want to be comfortable and we're always saying like this makes me uncomfortable, but like why are we supposed to be comfortable all the time? Like life is uncomfortable.
Yeah, no,
like
she's right.
We like things are uncomfortable, but like that's okay.
Yeah, that's how you grow. If everything was the same every day, you'd be the same person that you were when you were a child, and then that would be whack. It's always uncomfortable.
The bad stuff always ends. Like it's funny. Like I think around the time that you came on my podcast last time, I was like really in just the darkest fucking place. I was so depressed.
Why?
I was just depressed. I was just like really depressed, and I feel like knowing that like you can get through that, like being like, oh, I came out on the other side of something, that is just exciting. Like knowing that dark things pass, sadness passes, depression passes. Sometimes you can't really control your emotions the way you want to. You can control them to an extent, but it does pass, and that is like exciting.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't tell you how many times I thought when I was younger, that I thought I would never get out of a certain situation or a feeling, and then, you worked through it. I also can't recommend enough, like, therapy and shit like that. Like, you got to have somebody to talk to. You have to.
Like Lekka.
She didn't answer. You want some water? There you go.
She's so special.
Christine called her a lobotomy dog.
Why?
Because she's so well trained. Sit.
Did Justin train her?
No. Sit. You're embarrassing me. Okay, that's fine.
She's sitting there.
She got her in. So, no, I got her in Los Angeles, and when I got her, it was right as I was shooting the TV show.
Uh-huh.
And so I had money, and we wrapped the TV show, and I had time. And so I just hired a dog trainer because I really wanted to impress people. I wanted her to be a good dog.
You're so impressive, Lekka. You're so impressive.
She's a loving creature that's never been yelled at. I did yell at her yesterday when she ran away. I mean, that was really scary.
Josh, one thing about it to my show is I like to have a tarot deck or an oracle deck that sits here the whole episode, and then I pull a card from it at the end.
Okay.
This one was given to me by Marsh from Twitch. He's amazing.
Love you, Marsh.
Love Marsh. It's the Disney Villains Tarot deck and guidebook. We'll be pulling a card.
Let's do it.
Let's see if this card encapsulated the energy of the episode. What
are the? Is this for like predictions?
It can be predictions. It can kind of just be like a reflection of right now. My tarot card pulls have been fucking crazy lately. I've been pulling cards on stream. Let me tell you, they have been wild. Okay, we are tuned the fuck in, Josh. We're tuned in. Yesterday, someone came in my stream and they go, podcast Natalie is different than stream Natalie, which is different than stand-up Natalie. And I'm like,
wow.
It's true.
That is true.
It's so true. And I'm like, do they all need to unite or is it okay?
No, I think you can have separate entities.
They are really different.
As long as you're being yourself in all three.
Myself. I'm comfortable in different ways. Like here I feel more serious. On my stream I feel more silly. And in my stand-up I feel more feisty.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they eventually will all bleed into one.
I mean, I am still me in everything. I feel like I'm the most me on stage and in my stream, my podcast. I'm just trying to be more comfortable. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
The podcast always involves like a new conversation with a new person. So
does that freak you out?
No, but it's like that's like the least comfortable.
I get it.
Stand-up is like myself. My stream is like myself. And then a podcast is like introducing a new element every time.
I'm much more comfortable doing stand-up than I am doing anything. Podcasting, it sometimes just depends on the guest. If you vibe with them, especially if you're just doing it with somebody new. I do my podcast with like famous rock stars and famous people, and you're like...
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, dude. Like, Kenny Wayne Shepherd isn't funny at all.
The fact that you didn't use me for the Sonic Youth episode.
I'm sorry, I got Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth to do it.
You got Kim Gordon to do the episode?
Yes.
That makes me even more mad that you didn't have me and Kim Gordon.
It was a clusterfuck.
How was she?
She's great. She's Kim Gordon.
Tell me about her.
She's cool.
Did you see her in person?
No, we were both in LA.
Gordon?
I had Kim Gordon talk about.
I hate you, actually. Don't even want to put this out
Blame
anymore.
Emily, my booker, not me.
Wait, so you had Kim Gordon on the episode?
Yes. If I say it one more time, will you believe me?
I don't even want to talk anymore.
I think I sent you a message.
No, you
too.
said it was Fred Armstead or something.
No, it was originally him. Then he dropped out, and he got us Kim.
I actually don't even want to be your friend anymore.
That's not true.
I know.
It's you have to understand. It's like when you talk to the rock star.
I'm so jealous.
She was a lot of fun. She's super cool. She's come.
Was it on Zoom?
Yes, it was on Zoom, but she's come to one of my shows at the Comedy Store already because she lives in Los Feliz.
Wow.
Yeah, and we met. And she's awesome.
Wow.
She's really cool.
What else did she talk about?
Well, we talked about the record. We talked about the making of the record.
Did she talk about her book?
We did not.
Wow. Did you even read it?
No.
Wow.
Is that bad?
No. I don't care. Yeah, that's cool.
But here was the worst part: is the connection was a little choppy, and she's just she's very cool, man. So you ask her a question, and she's just like, well, very slow. Very thought out.
I literally, if I could have one wish, it would be, well, no. If I could have one silly wish.
You want silly. Yeah, you're like, if I could have one wish, it's for $1 trillion.
A silly wish would be Kim Gordon singing me to sleep every night.
Really?
She has the best voice.
You think so?
Well, I guess not.
I think she has a good voice for Sonic Youth. Yeah.
It's so comforting and sexy.
Very sexy. She's very cool.
She's so cool.
Sonic Youth is a very, very cool band. And look, I'm telling you, Nat, if we wouldn't have gotten her, you would have been the next call. And I said that to you. And I mean that.
No,
I mean
know.
that sincerely.
No. Kim, Fred, Nat, I'm okay with it. I'm okay.
You gotta put hair all over me.
All right. No, that's awesome. Everyone should check out Josh's podcast.
It's still going for another 6 years, and then it'll be done finally.
Oh my God. I can't even believe this is happening right now. No, Josh, you don't understand.
What is this?
No, Josh, I don't even want to talk about this. I literally want to pull up my YouTube right now to show you how insane this is. First of all, I pulled the 7 of coins. Okay. I have been pulling coins. This is the 4th time I've pulled coins this week, and the 2nd time I've pulled the 7 of coins.
Is it good?
It's crazy.
What does it mean? I don't know what it means though.
The 7 of coins is. This is actually crazy.
Why is it crazy? Please explain to me
Because
I have no idea.
just said
to me, it's just a card.
Well, you're right, Josh. It is.
But
just a card.
but that's not. But your reaction leads me to believe that this is like something.
It says you have a long path ahead of you, and you're working hard to set yourself up for success. 7 of coins advises you to make decisions with the long term in mind. Careful planning now will lead to big rewards in the future.
Wait, say it again, because I missed it.
Okay.
Here we go.
You have a long path ahead of you and are working hard to set yourself up for success. 7 of coins advises you to make decisions with the long term in mind. Careful planning now will lead to big rewards in the future.
No, I agree. I think that card is actually pretty apt right now. Like I'm doing a lot of steps to streamline my business. And my money and all the things that kind of come along with it. And I couldn't. Good pull, very solid pull for where I'm at. What happens if we got the six of shekels?
I don't know, but we didn't. Josh, can I tell you what's crazy?
What's crazy?
Literally, this week I pulled the 7 of coins. Then I pulled the Knight of coins.
Okay.
And then I pulled the Ace of Pentacles, which is coins in another deck. And then I pulled the Star. Okay, those are the coins I pulled those are the cards I pulled this week. Not only did I already pull this card, but they're all this suit. Listen, I know this is just for me. It's fine. Josh, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, if you guys have a tarot deck or an oracle deck you want to send me, please send it to me. If you have one you want to recommend, I'll buy it myself. Love oracle decks. I love tarot decks.
This is your shit, huh? Are you like a witch? Are you into like Wiccan stuff?
I really like this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I like it.
Are they all Disney?
No, they're not.
Does that take away from the spirituality if it's got
No.
if it's got the tentacle lady from Little Mermaid on it? I don't know her name.
Ursula?
I'm sorry. It was during my time, just I could have given a fuck. Like I was never like Lion King, yeah, and Aladdin.
Yeah.
But Little Mermaid, I was like, that shit's gay.
I used to have nightmares about Ursula every night.
Really?
Yep, I had a nightmare that she was going to turn my face purple, and then I would wake my parents up because I was scared, and their faces would turn purple.
Do you have nightmares now?
No, I will have vivid dreams sometimes. Usually I have dreams about forgiveness, and then I'll feel better about whatever type of animosity I hold towards someone.
So you're in an argument with somebody, and then you see the argument, but you have like
I'll usually have like closure dreams, and then I'll feel like I have closure with someone because of the dream, and then I'll be like, all right.
That's great. That is great. I don't even know if I dream anymore.
You just snore.
Bad, man. Oh man, it sucks. Tape. I got like 9 things in my I have the nose. I forgot to wash my face, so I still have like the breathe strip. I have that on.
I feel that, you need a doctor.
Well, I'm going to one tomorrow.
You are.
I think so.
The sleep apnea, my mom snores like crazy and she has sleep apnea, and I think that I don't know, she didn't know. You should get the sleep app as well.
There's an app?
There are like apps that tell you how much you're sleeping, what you're doing in there, and all that stuff.
What do I have to do? Do I have to like buy like a Whoop?
Some people have some sort of app that tells you like how much you're not breathing and shit, or some sort of thing.
I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, I look, I take care of myself, but when you live a hard life for, almost 20 years, I'd say about 16, 17 years of like just not taking care of myself, that there's got to be some kind of damage. I just don't think I have sleep apnea because I don't stop breathing anymore. That I used to think I had it, but the guy just said I snored.
Some people just snore.
Yeah, but this is bad now. I have like this fucking mouth guard. Oh my God, it's fucking so lame.
It's okay.
Is it?
Josh,
I hope it is.
Where can people find you?
At Josh Adam Meyers on all social media, joshadammeyers.com for tickets. Got a bunch of shit coming up. If you're in the DC area, I'm headlining the DC Improv the 24th and 25th of June. And then June 27th, I'm doing the goddamn Comedy Jam at the 930 Club, which is a huge show for me because it's one of the best rock clubs in the country. It's also the club that I used to go to. So if you can get to that show, it's a huge lineup. Donnell Rawlings, Tony Rock, Adam Ray, Jessica Curson, Rachel Feinstein, Steve Byrne. It's going to rule. It's almost sold out, so we're trying to really, really pack it. I'm stoked.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You're the best. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next week.